Lesson 8-6, Estimating with Percents. And in this lesson, you learn to estimate the percent of a number. And when are you ever going to use this? Knowing how to estimate the percent of a number can help you determine the tip at a restaurant. So the watch store is having a sale on watches. Every watch is on sale for 60% of the regular price. But how much would you pay for a watch that normally sells $34.99? Okay, so we will solve this in example 3. The word about tells you that the exact answer is not needed, so you want to look for that. When you see the word about, it simply tells you that the exact answer is not needed. Okay, so you can estimate the answer. So when you estimate with percents, you should round the percent to a fraction that is easy to multiply. The chart shows some commonly used percent and their fraction equivalents. Mind you, you need to memorize this particular table, okay? Because this is how you can estimate in your head if you memorize this. For example, you need to memorize that 20% is equal to the fraction of 1/5. That's equivalent fraction of 20%. 40% is 2/5. 60% is 3/5. 80% is 4/5. There you forgot to mention 1%. I'm going to say it here. 10% is equivalent to 1/10. Okay, 25% is 1/4. 50% is 1/2. 75% is 3/4. 100% is simply 1. 12.5% is 1/8. 37.5% is 3/8. 62.5% is 5/8. 87.5% is 7/8. So you need to memorize all of this. Okay, 16 and 2/3% is equivalent to 1/6. 33 and 1/3% is equivalent to 1/3. 66 and 2/3% is equivalent to 2/3, and 83 and 1/3% is equivalent to 5/6. So after memorizing this table, we can now proceed to estimate the percent of each number. Okay, let's take a look at example number 1, 22% of 97. Okay, so 22%, we know that it's close to 20%, and from the table, 20% is 1/5. Okay, so we get 197 and round it to 200, because we can see from what we did in estimating in the past that 5 is compatible with 200. Okay, so we have 1/5 times 200 now. That's what we are doing. Okay, is equal to 1/5 times 200. We start cross canceling. The GCF of 5 and 200 is 5. So 5 divided by 5 is 1. 200 divided by 5 is 40. And we simply multiply 1 times 40, which is equal to 40. So 22% is of not 197 is about 40, around 40. Let's take a look at the study hint on the left. You can also make a model to help you estimate 22% of 197. So basically, you divide 197. Okay, we divide 200 into 5 parts. Okay, because 197 is close to 200, and then we simply look at where 22% is closest. Is it close to 0, 20%, 40%, 80, 60, or 80%, or 100%? And it's closer to, okay, 20%, okay, in this case. So 20% is closer to 40, so our answer is about 40. But this is more work when you create the model. Okay, so we'd rather do this one in example 1. Okay, let's take a look at 50% of 1,512. We know that 50% is 1/2, so we don't have a problem with that. It's exactly 1/2. Okay, so all we need to do is round 1,512 to 1,500. Okay, and we simply get 1/2 of 1,500, and 1/2 of 1,500 is 750, because 1,500 cross cancels with 2, and you end up with 750. So 50% of 1,512 is about 750. Okay, money matters. Okay, uh, refer to the beginning of the lesson about how much would you pay for a watch that normally sells $34.99. Okay, so express 60% as a fraction because it says there that every watch is on sale for 60%, and that's the reason why we want to express 60% as a fraction. And if you notice, 60% is 60 over 100. Okay, so 60% is 60 over 100. Okay, or 3/5. Okay, that one is exact, so we don't have to worry about estimating 60%. Okay, on our table it means 3/5. Then we want to estimate the product of the fraction, okay, and the price. We now have 3/5 times 35. Okay, why 35? Because 34.99 is close to 35, and if you look, and at the same time 5 and 35 are compatible with each number. Okay, so we simply cross cancel. GCF of 5 and 35 is 5, so we divide both of those by 5. Okay, 5 divided by 5 is 1, 35 divided by 5 is 7, so you end up with 21. 3 times 7 is 21, 1 times 1 is 1, that's 21 over 1, or simply 21. So you will pay about $21 for the watch. Okay, so that's how you estimate. And first things first, okay, it will be assumed that when you estimate, you know that the fraction form of 60% is 3/5 because it's on the table right there. Okay, so the secret word for this lesson would be tree. Secret word would be tree, T-R-E-E. And let's go to the last example. Sometimes you need to estimate a percent. Okay, so let's estimate the percent of a figure that is shaded. Now, if you look at this figure, we know that 13 out of 15 squares have been shaded. Okay, and 13 out of 15 is very close to 12 over 15, or 4/5. If you notice, we want to find a number, okay, that we can simplify so that we can use our table. So in this case, 13 over 15, 13 is close to 12. Okay, and if it's close to 12, we can simplify 12 over 15 as 4/5. Okay, if you got how to do this, so 12 over 15 again, and we simply get the prime factors. This is 2 times 2 times 3, and this is simply 3 times 5. So we cross cancel the common factors. We end up with 4 over 5. Okay, and we know from our table that 4 over 5 is equal to 80%. So about 80% of the figure is shaded. Okay, and that's the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching.